one thing in Idaho that county commissioners have is they do have a lot of influence on state, in some ways on state policy. You know, our legislature, there are state mandates that the counties have to abide by, and county commissioners have some influence with legislatures and with our legislators on how to get new laws implemented that benefit our community, as well as amending laws that are doing damage to our community. And one of them is being able to have growth do a better job of paying its way. We're limited in Idaho with property tax increases. Wyoming, for example, in Teton County, Wyoming, when property taxes increase with land values. So if your house appreciates 26% 1 year, your property tax is going to increase 26%. That can also be problematic, as we see in Jackson, because of affordable housing. People can get nearly priced out of their homes because of taxes. And I think that there are things in place in Wyoming that alleviate that burden, but it's been the exact opposite in Idaho, because we haven't, the 3% cap doesn't even keep up with inflation. So if it's not even keeping up with inflation, it's certainly not keeping up with our services. And we've relied, it's a little complex, but to make a long story short, we're on this drug of new construction that it's constantly stealing from Peter to pay Paul. We're basically taking our credit card. It's similar like taking your credit card and paying your mortgage with it and expecting that your income is always going to increase. And then all of a sudden, we're like right now, with our economic situation, our income is gone. But we still are holding the bill. And that's pretty much where we are now. However, that sounds really bleak, but I think there's a lot of opportunities out there that we have to capitalize on. And in some ways, I think it's an opportunity for us to grow a lot better, because we can expect that the market is going to come back. This is an amazing place to live, and it's very attractive for a lot of people because of the quality of life. And I think the real estate is going to pick back up, and we've got an opportunity now to step back, identify the things that we really want in our community, and then get a plan in place on how we're going to get it. Let's see. Okay. So some of the things the current government is doing that has been needed is over the past 2 years, there's been a shift in county government to a pro-planning agenda, and with that shift, they're getting a better plan to manage growth on the books, and that's really what you need, because it's at the end of the day, you've got policies which are pretty broad-based, and they're sort of your goals out there, but then you have your laws or your ordinances that actually implement those goals. And our laws in the past have been pretty lax or very vague and very hard to interpret, so almost anything goes, because then you can interpret it so many different ways. So in the past 2 years, with that pro-planning majority, they've been able to get a lot of very needed policies and laws approved. What's hard now is, which is a huge step forward, and I think now even the next couple of years we can refine what has been done, and then really step back and do some really long range planning. Let's see. Okay. So some of the opportunities that I would like to explore and what I would like to start to implement in the county is creating a system of government that the citizens aren't just forced to react. And I think what I've seen since I've lived in this county is people don't get involved very proactively. You know, there's something going in next door, and then they show up to the meeting and they're very upset and emotional, and it's a powerless place to be as a citizen to react. It's a powerless place to be for anybody to react and to be more proactive. And the analogy I like to do is this time of year, the fall, you're going out hiking, hunting, whatever, and it's where you live in bear country, and you're aware, you're carrying pepper spray or whatever, and you're paying attention to where you're going, instead of just not being prepared, staring at your boots, looking at the looking at the path, and boom, you run into a bear, and your opportunities or your options at that point are limited, right? You're gonna run, or you're gonna play dead, or you know, it's pretty obvious. Where if you're being prepared and you see a bear on the trail, and you're paying attention, you've got choices. You can go around the bear, you can back up, and that's what we should be doing as our community. I see so many great opportunities for it. It's really exciting, and the one thing that I would really love to see is I find myself a very accidental politician. I didn't really ever plan or think that I would be doing this, but we have to be the change that we want to see in the world. And I really hope and feel inspired by younger people getting involved in government and starting to being leaders and decision makers in how they form and create their community. Otherwise, we can be victims of bad decisions. And I think that my generation, our generation, just has so many amazing ideas and the ability to think out of the box. And I think we have to do the same for our government, even from a local level, from state to national elections. And yeah, we've got to be the change that we want to see. And we kind of have to take the bull by the horns and take on the establishment, for lack of a better word. And I think we can. And I read or see about younger politicians or people who are have more of an environmental mindset, a more a community mindset, that are running for office. And I think it's pretty cool, because I always thought that running for office was really pretty uncool. So I hope me running will inspire other folks, and I hope I win, because I think that I can do a lot for our community and get us to a better place. The powers, some more of the powers of the county commissioners is they set the budget for the county, they balance the budget, they give the sheriff's department, they approve the sheriff's budget, then the road and bridge is funded a little bit differently, but all of these different departments of the county, the assessor, the clerk, the fire, the emergency services, all the roads, so your snow plowing, in the bridge department, and then the solid waste, they all report to the county commissioners. So you're basically running the county. And there's more, but I don't know if that's really very interesting. It gets a little governmental. Oh, okay. I know when I first moved to this valley, my husband kind of lured me here, which is really, it was great, right? It was a great place to live. I love to ski, do all this stuff outside. But I was a commuter over in Jackson, so I would drive every day. I'd get up at 7:30 and I'd drive over the pass, and I'd be home at 6:30. So but when I left, everything was closed. When I came back, everything was closed, and I was a little disconnected from my community. I didn't really feel like I was part of the community in Jackson. I didn't really feel like I was part of the community here in Driggs or Victor. And in that period, there was a local election. I voted in it, but the person who ran was an incredibly talented, super smart guy, and he lost by 26 votes. And I thought, I'm like, oh gosh, I know 26 people who probably didn't vote. So this is a really important election for us locally, and I encourage everybody to get out and vote. If you've never voted before, now's the time to do it.